This picture
Yeah.
is when I went sour on the SANADA run as champion.
Okay, now before we get into this, and I know exactly why, and boy, do I agree. We are looking at here for the folks that are listening on the podcast. We have a photograph from I guess, was it a press conference or a
It
video
was
they did?
I think it was a Nippon Sports press conference.
So there are two wingback chairs sitting next to little end tables with a candle, I think, on each one. It's weird. And it just in an empty space. And then there's a giant monitor to plug Destruction RYOGOKU. Of course, the World Heavyweight title match there is SANADA and Evil. SANADA is sitting there in a suit, and he's got his hat. He's got the stylish thing where his pants don't go all the way down. They're like capris. And then
No
Evil,
socks either. No socks.
no socks. Evil's sitting there. Most importantly, though, with the IWGP World Heavyweight title belt that he has stolen from SANADA. And so they're sitting in their wingback chairs and they're talking a lot of smack. There is a hint.
And there is a display behind them that shows you that SANADA is actually the champion and holding the title, and Evil does not hold a title. Steven, who's holding the title?
Well,
in the two chairs.
Evil is holding the belt that he stole from SANADA. He's holding the belt. They're sitting there talking about it. SANADA, as he sits there passively, like he does everything, is talking about maybe a lumberjack stipulation to the match there because House of Torture interferes with everything. Meanwhile, his damn belt is 10 feet away from him. What do you go ahead, Jeremy? Let loose. You deserve it.
The fact that SANADA did not at any point walk over, smack the shit out of Evil, take his belt back and said, I am the champion, and if you want to hold this, you have to beat me for it, absolutely infuriated me. I have gone to extreme lengths. I've been critical about SANADA. I've been very critical about this run and knowing they've had to do things, including have him go undefeated in the G1 in regular bracket play to make him look strong. The one thing that they shouldn't be doing to make him look strong is to have someone hold the title over him and he do nothing about it. You know what? I don't care. Make it Evil versus Naito at this point. What the fuck, man? Like, get your title back. Show this guy that you're the champion. I don't care if you only have 3 other guys in your stable right now. I'm sorry Kanemaru's hurt. Take your title back. Show him you're the champion. And show them that you are the standard bearer of New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you cannot do that, if you cannot walk 6 feet over and smack a man in the mouth and take your title, bro, I don't care about this match, and I don't care about you as champion. I'm sorry. You've burned that bridge right now.
I mentioned last week they've been booking SANADA incredibly weak. You know, he just gets beaten down. They lose a lot, and it's just been very difficult to get into SANADA as champion anyway. His lack of charisma was making it a struggle in the first place. But this is pretty egregious right here. I mean, to not do a thing about somebody else has stolen the one thing that allegedly now means the world to him. And, you know, there it is, just sitting right there. And he just sat there the whole time. And Evil walked out with the belt. SANADA didn't do anything. And it reminds me there was an angle a long time ago. I'm going to go way back because, you know, I like that. Mm-hmm. In Jim Crockett Promotions in the mid-'80s, Dusty Rhodes was the TV champion. Okay. And that belt wasn't the most meaningful thing in the world, but it was a title. And Arn Anderson beat him up and stole it. Horseman versus Dusty thing, right? Arn Anderson beat him up, took the title, did these promos because Arn Anderson's great, you know, all about how possession is 9/10 of the law and I'm the television champion. And one week on Worldwide Wrestling, there's Arn doing his spiel, you know, 9/10 of the law. And without anybody noticing, without there being without music, they didn't really do that then, without any fanfare, all of a sudden a chair comes crashing in to Arn in the back of his head and his back. He flops down, grabbing his head. The camera pans out to see Dusty Rhodes holding a steel chair. He drops the chair, doesn't say a word, picks up his belt, and walks away. And Arn is just left there like holding his head. Dusty Rhodes showed that you got to be a man, right? I mean, you can't do that. And the people were going insane for it. You've got to have the champion show some backbone here.
Do not create a scenario where this happens and your champion is embarrassed. I get that there's press, and I get that things are done differently, and that the optics of how a champion behaves in Japan is different than the optics of how a champion behaves in the States. With that said, there are some things that are universal. If you are the champion and someone has your title, you take your title back.
Can you fathom Kazuchika Okada standing there? I cannot. I can't imagine them doing an angle where he had it stolen from him either. But I cannot fathom Kazuchika Okada just sitting there, just looking at somebody else holding his belt, calling him the champion, because Evil says that he's the champion.
Not this Okada.
And, and he would just be standing there just going, maybe we should just have a lumberjack match so I can get that thing. He would have gone and beat the living. Okay. All right. And you and
I are on the same page in the same chapter, but it is just, okay.
Flaming Shark. SANADA doesn't attack Evil at the end or anything, so he looks like a dork. I have nothing against SANADA, but we can't get the belt on Naito soon enough. That's really the bottom line. That's what this is, isn't it? We're just working to get the belt over to Naito.
He's a transitional champion. They had a story to tell for Naito, and they're like, okay, well, let's repackage SANADA, give him his shine, but at the end of the day, he's still a stepping stone for somebody else.
And then Colin says the sooner SANADA is no longer champ, the better. Yeah, it's just not working. It's just not working. And Shark, once again, this is not only Strange looking for the champion, but also SANADA is a champion you need to protect. Yes, this is an important point. And they were on track, right? He had to go undefeated during the G1 because he was a little bit suspect as the champion. Like, is this guy really the world heavyweight champion? Kind of like when Evil was, right? So you're just like, I don't know if this is really the right thing. Having him go undefeated through block play was exactly the correct thing to make him look strong. And then they have made him look like a ninny ever since. And anyway, Shark finishes up his point with someone like Naito or Okada could survive some dumb stuff, but not SANADA of all people. It's a fragile thing because he's not seen on that elite tier the way a lot of the other guys who have held that belt are perceived. So with that in mind, you have to really work hard to make him look tough, strong, competent. And with the last month, they've done the opposite. And I understand, Jeremy, and I think everybody at home does too, that SANADA's going to win this match at RYOGOKU, he's going to get.
How did he win the match and look dominant? Like how did he come out of this looking better? Does he kick out of everything that Evil does and just make it look like Evil never had a chance?
And everything Togo does and everything Yujiro does.
Like, is he Okada Superman? And because he's got to do something like that, because if this is just give and take, and like Evil almost hits everything is Evil, but he doesn't, and then SANADA hits like a moonfall or something like that, and it's just a title match, nothing is accomplished, and we've literally just wasted 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's a real shot. It's funny that they think that this is the guy and the way to present the guy that you're going to send down the ramp at the Tokyo Dome holding your belt.
I get that they wanted to do SANADA's greatest hit with all his LIJ rivals on the road to facing Naito and really closing that book. I get it. And that they really needed to make a chapter stop of Evil mean something. But I think they blew the landing on this one.
Yeah, they have to put obstacles in his way so he can overcome those obstacles.
Right.
But I think they overdid it. I just think they overdid it and made him look too weak going into the match. He's going to win it. He's going to defeat him.
The scenarios just don't work for him, and he can't rise above the bad material.
Yeah, and he just doesn't have the charisma in the first place. He's kind of, like I've mentioned, he sucks charisma out of the people he's wrestling somehow. But there was a sign this week in Fukuoka of life, but we're going to get to that in just a little bit. But just it's not working. I think at the end, we're going to look back on this era and say that SANADA was a failed experiment as a transitional champion.
Yeah, at least there will always be the fact that he had this so that they can use that level of prestige to elevate other people / reheat him up in the future. They've got him to this level. So if they ever need to get him back to this level for another reason, either as a heel or for whatever reason, at least that they've set the groundwork now so that it won't feel even more forced if they have to go back to it in the future.
Really, Taichi should be the lead of Just Five Guys. That
is a bold statement.
Who else, though? It can't be SANADA.
I mean, are you sure Just Five Guys should even exist?
Yeah, I don't have any problem with them existing. I think Taichi is an innovative guy. He is a creative guy. I'm not trying to put him on the same level as a wrestler as Okada and Naito and things, but I think he does interesting things,
Mhm.
and he is charismatic, and I think people care about him more than they do Sanada.
I mean, I don't
He gets
disagree.
that.
I never even occurred to me to make him the leader.
He was
Bring back
before
Miho
Sanada.
Abe. Just 4 guys and a gal.
Have you seen her Twitter? She ain't coming back for a minute. She's into some
Oh.
weird shit.
Okay. I am not a follower of Miho Abe on Twitter. I don't know what's going on. And I feel like I'm not going to ask any more questions. Moving on.